Good morning. So we want to thank everybody for coming and joining us this morning, and it's our time where we stop and pause and congratulate and say hello and check up on what all is going on and recognize our employees who are doing exceptional things, and we have several this morning we want to do that with. So let's get going. I'm going to introduce you to our Employee of the Month for April 2022 is Miss Tammie Smith. You say hello. It says, I would like to nominate Tammie Smith for Employee of the Month. Her dedication and loyalty to the call center and her supervisor is nothing short of amazing. She does not know the word no when it comes to this agency. On one occasion, she requested a day off due to family members visiting for the holidays. As it turned out, the remaining staff ended up calling out due to illness. I had no other option but to contact Tammy and ask if she could help. Her reply was, I just need to get ready. Tammy goes above and beyond when asked, and I cannot thank her enough for her dedication and loyalty to this agency. Her personality and perseverance is exactly what we need in the sheriff's office. How about that? Fantastic. And her daughter's with us. Will you stand up and just say hello, wave to everybody, please? Who's that? We've got family all over the place. And by the way, she's there you go. There's cousin. Thank you. So let's get our picture made first. Okay. There we go. We're going to present that. We're going to give you, here's her coin. That's pretty nice. And this is 8 hours of leave off, a day off, so hang on to your card. Here's a tumbler with some goodies in it, and we want to thank you. Congratulations again. You can put it, and we'll get some pictures when we're done too, so we'll make sure we'll get everybody else. All right, our Officer of the Month for April 2022 is Mr. DeQuan Adams. I would like to nominate one officer and SORT member, DeQuan Adams, for Officer of the Month. In March, Deputy Adams came across an unconscious, unresponsive male in a grassy area in Antioch. He immediately notified dispatch to send Metro Police and EMTs to his location. He then rendered aid, including administering Narcan due to suspicion of overdose. The Narcan had no effect on the unresponsive male, so he began CPR procedures. The male began breathing, and Deputy Adams continued to render aid until EMTs arrived. Deputy Adams' alertness, training, and quick response saved the man's life. What do you say about that? Wow, great job. There we go. There's a ribbon for your uniform. Well then, there's 8 hours of leave off, credit card for that, and a tumbler for some tokens as well. So congratulations, job well done. Good old Antioch guy, I hope you know. It's funny, Miss Smith said she was in the first class of the Pearl Cone transition years ago, and of course when I was in school it was called Pearl, but it was Pearl Cone. She was in the first class. Mr. Adams was in the first Antioch High School, new Antioch High School, so have some long history with Nashville, and very fortunate to have two people, and whether you're saving the shift because we needed people to work, and who knows what that led to, or saving someone's life. Just hard to, it's hard not to stop and think about what all goes on every day. Whether it's out there in the middle of your operation or trying to get people to come to work, and there was illness and we needed folks and forego her family time to be here, just says a tremendous amount. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I thought about you all this morning. I was driving in. Don't raise your hand. But I want to ask you if you've ever nominated for anyone for Employee and Officer of the Month. My preacher would say, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I'm trying to get to you. If you haven't, you should. If you have, I hope you'll do it again. Mr. Kelly and Ms. Nanda nominated these two people. And just saying, if they didn't do that, we wouldn't know about what happened in Antioch, and we wouldn't know what happened on a holiday when we needed someone to come in and work. So don't forget that, right? The old story is that if you don't like the restaurant, you tell 10 people you don't like it. If you like it, you tell one. So I just hope you'll find, instead of complaining about the 10 people that didn't do their job right and help you, help us find the two people like these. It's an important program. It's important to stop and say, wow, you know? And unfortunately, Mr. Adams' situation, to me, deserves national news. You know, but I think Ms. Smith does too. You know how hard it is to find employees to come to work? I mean, we have to give you all food to get you to come here. I'm just kidding. But it is everywhere you go. You hear about how hard it is to find people to come to work. And you got someone who said, people called out and didn't make it. I just need to get ready. Right? So don't let it keep happening. I mean, take 2 seconds. Nominate somebody who's doing really good work to help you, or maybe something you recognize. It's important. 25 years ago, the idea was that you nominate your peers and we just get to celebrate them. It was really never about management going and looking for people doing good work. So please help us. Get the word out. I love to hear what's going on, because unfortunately, in the real world, you hear all the negative. So I just hope you'll help us remember and find people. So just hang with us. So another thing we like to do every month is to recognize other accomplishments, whether it's your professional development or work that you're doing to improve yourself or this agency. And this month is no different. We have 3 people I'd like to call up, Mr. Cromer and Corporal Williams and Corporal Williams. How about that? That's pretty easy. Y'all come on. I'm going to tell y'all something. This whole group let me stand up here one time and introduce the wrong person for about 10 minutes and what they've accomplished. I know y'all this time. I studied. So many years ago, both ACA and AJA started a program called Certified Jail Officer, Certified Correctional Officer to allow individuals to develop their own professional, whether it was a designation in this case, and to be certified by those organizations. It's not something we require. People initiate that on their own. I see a lot of times, I often have seen Mr. Dial and Chief Wilkes and others, where when someone passes the test is now certified, we try to recognize them immediately. But we also want to bring them in front of this organization. And these 3 people have both become certified, 2 in AJA. Both Corporal Williams are AJA certified jail officers, and Mr. Cromer is now through ACA a certified correctional officer as well. And so we're going to present them all of their goodies, and then we'll get everybody. Mr. Cromer. There we go. Mr. Cromer. Let's do one at a time. Can we get one picture at a time, and then we'll get a group here in just a second. There we go. Thank you very much. Congratulations to you. Appreciate you. Do we get the right? Deborah Williams. There we go. I'll make sure I get the right Williams. All the Williams. Here we go. There we go. Okay. And Corporal Williams, your first name, tell me how to say it. Kakiela. I told you. Kakiela. If y'all want to know how to say it, I just want to make sure. There you go.
This is Mr. Cromer.
Okay. Mr. Cromer, here's your coin as well. There's your coin. There you go. That's for your uniform. There you go. Thank you. That's for your uniform as well.
Thank you.
Kakiela, I got it. Ms. Williams, how are you? Congratulations to you. There we go. Got a round of applause for all of them. Here we go. So I want to ask you again, find people who are doing good things and let us know, and let's find a way to recognize the work that they're doing and the accomplishments that we get to stop and celebrate every month. A lot going on this time of year. Some things that you're probably that matter to you. I want to make sure to get that out. The budget is moving through the government's process. The city council votes on that here in the next couple of weeks. We presented our version of that last week, I believe it was, and I think everything is on schedule. A couple of notes about that. In that budget would be a 4% cost of living and a 3% step increase, if you want to call it that. So it's the highest cost of living we've ever had in my 30-something years here. Probably still isn't quite what we all need, but I'm glad we're getting that. So everyone should see some level of raise, around 7% or so. It may depend on when you get your increment. I get lost on that, but you all get 4% in July. A lot of you will get the other 3% at the same time. So that will help us. I've been saying this in here for the last 6 months, but our biggest challenge in the last year is recruitment of correctional officers. There's no doubt about that. Recruitment for any position in Nashville is hard right now, but when you're going to, in the world of corrections, it's incredibly difficult. And we, in this budget, have proposed and I think been able to accomplish something that's going to really help us. Basically, down in the weeds, the correctional officers come in here, they will go through training, they will complete training, they complete probation. And once they complete their probationary period, they'll be making $52,000 a year. That puts us in the top level of corrections, which is where we ought to be, which is where we've been forever. TDOC raised their pay significantly back in December. Of course, Core Civic is no longer here, so we were on the bottom pay of corrections, and we need to be where we deserve. The mayor's office and others listened to us. We were able to get that accomplished. It does not give everybody that same amount of a raise. It is going to move the whole corrections division up because that's where we're having the most trouble recruitment of all staff. What it will do for everybody else, though, that we've been having trouble with for the last couple of years is allow a lot of promotions and filling vacancies that you have. Please, you want some water? Are you okay? Okay. The issue is we need everyone who wants to be promoted into all sorts of jobs. Case manager, I know Ms. Stinson's job with the dog programs, we've been frozen for a long time. So we're now releasing that and starting to move and promote people back into the vacancies that we've held for a long time. Each one of you, I think, or a lot of you, will need those positions or hopefully see people moving in and out of them fairly soon as we start to progress and get some of our correction staff, like we said, the recruitment of that back on track. I've been here 30-something years. I can promise you this, the HR division and training division have never worked harder than they have in the last 6 months. I know that. It is because there's a tremendous amount of work being thrown at them to try to get the bodies where they need it. We have people working 12-hour shifts and overtime every night, and the same people. So we can't keep doing that. There's a lot of challenges, as you know, in the world of corrections anyway. And so just want you to know what we've been fighting for is to try to help the corrections division in lieu of in return, I think we will see the vacancies help every division here as we move forward. There are other parts to that whole situation. We were trying a year ago. We met with officers. I think Mr. Cromer may have been in some of these focus groups. We've had other groups talking about what we needed to do to improve the life of the correctional officers. And we had another focus group on how do we recruit better? What do we do? We started a program called the Facility Officers. What that really means is it's a part-time correctional officer. A lot of people said, wow, that sounds crazy. I don't know if it's going to work. Today we have 35 people working in our facilities. It may not work, but it's better than zero. And so we had 35 extra set of eyes and ears in the buildings. I had officers telling me, I feel isolated, I feel alone. There's not enough staff in the building. And so we're trying any way we can to put more staff in the building. They have been trained to a level we're comfortable with getting them started. And hopefully one day you won't need to do it. But right now we needed extra bodies in any way we could, and the way we did that was take their benefit cost, roll it into the hourly rate that we could pay them more hourly than we do our regular officers, but they don't get benefits. And so what they're telling me, our HR staff have been telling me is, out of the 35 people that said I want part-time, 6 of them, I believe, have already said I want to move full-time. So it may be another return we get out of that where we see some bodies that transfer over. My dream and my hope is we don't need it part-time people one day. But right now, Chief Drake and I have lunch every month. We talk about this all the time. They're doing some crazy things in the police department. because they can't find people. They're letting people from any other county in the whole state come in here and work on the weekends downtown. Some rural area police officer may be working down here as a metro police officer because they just can't find people. So when you're desperate, we're doing desperate things that we probably wouldn't normally do, but in some ways we may find it to be a benefit. If we can recruit people and move them over to our agency, that's another win for us. So working very hard on that. We're going to start a whole ad campaign about paying what we're able to pay. When you can tell people you're a starting correctional officers are making $52,000 a year, pretty big deal. Exactly. I think Austin Bodie was telling me a funny story. We're paying our part-time people more a year than he started full-time. I mean, if you think about it, so when you take 19 hours a week and you throw $30 an hour at it, it's a lot of money compared to what a lot of you started at full-time. So we're paying a lot of money hourly because we're trying to recruit you in here to help us. But I don't think it's the solution. It's just an idea of trying to help. So I've been in this job for 20 years. I could probably sit down and write them down. I don't know. But I believe, if not every year, almost every year we've been here, we've been asked to take over something. And some of those are little bitty things like a prison. And some of them are 4 or 5 staff who work for a thing called the DUI school. And I can name everything in between. Pretrial release, security at the hospital. We had a retirement from Mr. Metalor the other day, and I didn't remember this, and he said, well, y'all took us over and saved us because we were going to lose funding. There's other people. I'm looking at Cindy Silver, who came here, and we absorbed people for different reasons. And I think about all the people that's happened to. I can't tell you how many have stood up here lately that were employing officers of the month that came from Core Civic or came from some other entity that we ended up taking over. That's happened nearly every year. I like to tell people, watch what you're good at, they'll ask you to do it again. And it feels like we get this situation more often because I think you do really, really good work at taking care of the people who work for you. That's what you're trying to do. In some way or another, that works out where you're asked to do things. By the way, we do say no sometimes. We were asked to take over animal control one time. We almost took over the animal control. Didn't we, Linda? Funny story, got to tell you a funny story. So we were asked to take over animal control. I mean, at the time, I may have had a dog. It was my son's dog, but I didn't have a whole lot of time for animals, and I didn't really understand what it was all about. So we were going to take over animal control, they told us. So we said, well, what in the heck we're going to do? We got to go learn about it. So we jumped in the car. I think Linda went, Chief Hudson went. I know Chief West went. Who else? Is that us? Okay, we took off to Lexington, Kentucky because they do a similar type of animal control that we were looking into. So we'd go up to Lexington. So we're going to go, we meet with the staff in the building, and we're trying to learn everything. And then we're going to walk over to what you and I think I would call the kennels, where they are. We were in the meeting where the people are, and now we're going to go where they are. So we go over there, and so, I will never forget, doors fly open, and they're telling us all about it. We house this, meaning this, So I'm listening, and as we walk by, right here is this crate. Is that the word? Can't say pen, can't say cage. Crate. There's a crate with a bunch of puppies in it. And I got to about right here, and I looked down, and these puppies were just screaming, take me home. I told Chief Hudson, get your truck, we're taking every dog home with us. I mean, it was crazy. It was like life-changing. I could not look down anymore. But we didn't end up taking over animal control because there was some weird politics and all that. But this year is no different. July 1st at 6 o'clock in the morning, we're taking over what you may have referred to as G4S, or Allied is a more recent name. So Allied has been running all of the security in the courthouse, in the Birch building. So on July 1st at 6 in the morning, those uniforms are switching. Those people now become employees of ours, and I think there's 29 of them that morning, some 40 total positions probably, but 29 people that morning. We've been meeting with them and training and onboarding them into our organization, and again, you'll see them wearing and dressing and becoming one of us. They very well may stand in here in a few weeks or months and be recognized, just like some of you who've transitioned from other places. So You know, I think when I came here, there was 400 employees in the sheriff's office, and we're at about 1,100 today. So we keep growing in different responsibilities and different people. And so it's a credit to you, and I said a minute ago, training and HR are working their tails off in their regular jobs, but we keep saying, hey, can we get these 39 people or 29 people up and ready to go? And so those individuals will move from Kevin Carroll's responsibility over to Kyle, and Kyle will oversee the whole security division as he has been for the last several months. 1 year ago, Monday, we raised the flag and moved in here. Hard to believe. I mean, there's a lot happening in your life, and what I drove in thinking about this morning. You know what we were worried about? Do we have to wear a mask? And is the flag going to go up straight? I mean, there was all that too. But I mean, just a year ago, the kind of pulling off of the mask was really just starting because we were watching that and we couldn't tour, but so many people through the building and the mayor was coming or whatever, so you had all that to worry about. And I hope the masks are a past thing for those who want to not do it. But we'll see. But we are going to stop next week in this building and each morning and kind of have a remembrance of what all's happened in the last year. A lot of things in this building, a lot of different events, and so you'll see some of that around here if you're here. We probably throw some food out in the hallways, and we'll throw some stuff on our screens and tumble through some video and pictures, so we'll kind of remember what all's going on in the last 12 months. You should celebrate your victories. Ms. Smith mentioned we're sitting upstairs that, you know, I love this building, and I said, I love you for saying that. So this building is a lot of work in each one of the buildings. Mr. Adams said when he started working here, he came to work in the CJC. And, you know, I said, I know I sound like an old man, but these young people don't understand how good they got it. At least in the DDC, just because if you worked in the CJC, it'd be hard not to look at that building and go, man. But if it's the first place you ever came, I'm sure that's what you're gonna remember. So a lot going on in the world that we have. But next week we'll celebrate a year in our building, and then as I said a minute ago, the budget should move through July 1st, and I think all of that will help us when we get through it. Anything else? Anybody have anything? That's right. That's great. So our Citizens Academy, good to see Deshay back with us, by the way. Will you please? Thank you. Yeah, Deshay does great work with our academy, and if you don't know, we'd announced it. We set up ready to go, and we had a little medical interruption, and Deshay's done great at fighting through that, but also staying in contact with some of our community people who are interested, and we're going to make that selection and get the class started here really soon. I'm anxious to do that. I ran into someone over the weekend who just completed a class in another county and was bragging about it, and I said, you don't know anything. So we're happy to do that. Chief Wilkes, are you good? Everything good? Chief Hudson, all good? Chief Ford? Chief Ford's tired and grumpy. He's moving, so he don't have a pickup truck, and don't be nice, or he'll ask you to come help him. I don't. Yes, ma'am.
I'll ask everybody, Sergeant Lorenzo Knight and his family, because his father, not his father, I'm sorry, his brother died in a one-car accident.
Wow. Yeah, please, Lorenzo Knight. Would you say brother, father? His brother was killed in a car wreck. If you couldn't hear Miss Joseph, yeah, we need to keep. I'll tell you another thing, and I think there's good news. I'm gonna cross my fingers. Miss Price has been in the hospital the last couple of days. My understanding is we got some good news, and I think she's coming out today. Is that fair? We think so. So just hang on to that. I had a lunch date with her, and she stood me up yesterday. So I think it was yesterday. So we're gonna make sure to get lunch. But yeah, please keep her and Lorenzo Knight as well. It's hard to think about. What else we got? Anybody? Anything? So let's do this. Let's let our honorees, if you will, let's go out in the hallway. We've got some food and fellowship. Have a rest of your morning. Congratulations. Have a great day.